Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to do some questions from Cognizant recruitment test as conducted this year for the upcoming batch of 2021. So the pattern, if we talk about for Cognizant written exam, it's two sections. One is a essay writing section, and other is a aptitude section where they ask questions based on logical and quantitative analysis. The overall difficulty level of the paper, if it is considered, a general consensus is it is easy to moderate. Questions is not are not very difficult. Paper is easy. It's just we have to use a lot of logic on every question. So we're going to look at the questions. What are the questions that were asked, and let's try to answer those questions that were asked in the paper. Okay. First question: what is the minimum value of absolute 779m minus 1045n minus 640n, as m and n are all integer values given to us already, and abs it is defined, it is this absolute value function, and the condition is also specified. Okay, now absolute value of 779m minus 1045n minus 640, it will give me the minimum value when my variable function 779m minus 1045n, when it will be closest to 640. When this value is going to be closest to 640, that is when this whole absolute function will give the minimum value. So this is from where we're going to begin. So 779m minus 1045n, I'm going to rewrite it as 19 into 41m minus 55n. Now let this 41m minus 55 and let this whole function be equal to x. So this whole 779m minus 1045n reduces to 19x. This whole function reduces to 19x. So what I have to find out is absolute of 19x minus 640. The multiple of 19 that is closest to 640, it is 646. Multiple of 19 closest to 640, it's 646. So what I need now is absolute value of 646 minus 640 comes out to be 6. It is my answer. My answer is option C. It's 6. Okay. Next, minimum value of absolute 578m minus 910n minus 541, as m and n take all integer values. Again, the same function is mentioned. What is the absolute value of the function? Condition, everything is specified. So we are going to go by the same way. Absolute of 578m minus 910n minus 541. We need to find this value out. Obviously, this is going to be the minimum function when 578m minus 910n, it will be closest to 541. Now, to make it closest to 541, I'm going to rewrite the function like I did in the previous function. So this becomes 2 into 289m minus 455n. Other than that, I don't have anything common. Now, let this whole function 289m minus 455n, let this be x. So your value reduces to 2x. Now what you have to find is absolute value of 2x minus 451. Multiple of 2 that is closest to 541. No need for even doing any calculation. I know it is 540. The question now reduces to, either I can take it as 540 or I can take it as 542. Answer is going to be same in both the cases. If I take 540, then also I have to find absolute value of 540 minus 541. This will also give me 1. Even if I take it as 542, this will be 542 minus 541. Both the ways my minimum value is coming out to be 1 only. So my answer to this question is 1. Next question. 1, 2, 3, and 4 can form 256 distinct 4-digit number if digits repeated. Two of them are double one double one and double one one three. Then find the sum of all these 256 numbers that is given to me. Okay, so I'm going to go by the formula method. So formula is first case, if we talk about sum of all the numbers which can be found by using n digits without repetition. First, let's state if it is n digit without repetition, what is going to be the sum in that particular case? It is going to be equal to n minus 1 factorial into sum of digits that is given. So out what all digits is given, sum of those digits into 1 1 1 1 up to as many n terms that I need to have. Suppose there are 5 digits that is given to me and I have to find the sum of all the possible numbers. So I'm going to do 5 minus 1 factorial into sum of the digits, whatever digits are given to me, all those 5 digits, sum of that into, it will be, for example, it will be 1 1 1 1 1, which will be multiplied. This is without repetition. But if it is n digits given to me and asked, as asked in the question, sum of all the digits that can be formed using this n digits and with repetition, when repetition is allowed, in that case, what do I do? When repetition is allowed, what am I going to do in this case is, it will be n raised to power n minus 1 into sum of digits remains the same, but the difference here is it is now n raised to power n minus 1 into, again this 1 1 1 1 goes to as many n digits it is specified for us. So if going by this method, it's very easy other than considering all the cases. So this becomes quite easy. N digits with repetition. Okay, now for the question it is given if the digits are repeated. So my solution would be using the second case. Second formula can be used. Sum of the digits. How many digits are given? 4 digits, where n is your number of digits that is given. N is number of those digits that is given to us. Okay. So n here is 4. 4 raised to power 4 minus 1 becomes 3 into sum of the digits. Sum of digit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sum is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 into, it will be 1 1 1 1 only. So this becomes 4 4 times 16, 16 4 times 64, 64 into 1 1 1 1 into 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 3 is 10. When we will do this, comes out to be 711404. I directly have my answer. My answer is option A. Next question. What is the value of n for which the given expression will be a perfect square, and a expression is given to me? So to make this a perfect square, we need to convert it in a format of a square plus b square plus 2ab. Then only it can be written as a plus b raised to power 2. This will be a perfect square. This is the format that I need to convert the question into. So we are going to go for each term. 4 raised to power 85 can be written as 2 raised to power 2 into 85. So this becomes 2 raised to power 85 into 2. Also, I'm just doing it, a into b is equals to b into a. So it's actually 2 raised to power 85 the whole square. So my a comes out to be 2 raised to power 85. Okay. 1 is okay. Now, 2 raised to power 3383. This has to be something a into b. Other than that, there is no way that this is a bigger number. So let's just take out 1 2 from it. So I'm taking out 1 2 and making it 2 2, 2 raised to power 3382. Now, again, I know A is already 2 raised to power 85. So from here, I will take out 2. This is for 2AB2 into A. A is 2 raised to power 85. Remaining is 2 raised to power 3382 minus 85. So this will become 2 into 2 raised to power 85 into 2 raised to power 3297. Now, this is the format of 2AB. This is 2AB. 2A, and this is some B that is given to me. Now, my B is equals to 2 raised to power 3297. What to do with this? I know 4 raised to power n is equals to 2 raised to power 2n, or this is 2 raised to power n the whole square. Also, I can write it in this way also. So basically my b is 2 raised to power n. So 4 raised to power n, that here it is given to me. It's b square. So basically what I have now is 4 raised to power 85 plus 2, 3, 8, 3 that is given to me plus 4n. It has now reduced to a square plus b square plus 2ab, a plus b whole square. So my b square is actually 3, 2 raised to power 2 into 3297. So value of n, I have just converted this 4n into the format of 2 raised to power n. So your 2n comes out to be 3297. Value of n is 3297. Next question. What will be the remainder of a particular expression given to us? So first step is take 31 raised to power 109 equal to n. Now solve 29 raised to power n divided by by 9. Remainder is going to be 2. So get remainder. Remainder is 2. Now find the power cycle when remainder becomes 1. So this, if for this the remainder is 2, so basically what I have is 2 raised to power 9. Remainder is raised to power 9. Now I have to divide by remainder raised to power n. Now I have to divide by 9. Now find the power cycle when remainder becomes 1. So 2 power 1 divided by 9. Remainder is 2. 2 power 2 divided by 9. Remainder is 4. 2 power 3 divided by 9. Remainder is 8. 2 power 4 and 8 I can also write it as minus 1. So minus 1 I'm getting on the third cycle, and it is going to come out, if it is for the third, it is going to come out for the sixth also. So I just need it my remainder as 1. Now using 6x power cycle we divide n. So power cycle p equals to n by 6, that is equals to 31 raised to power 109 divided by 6 becomes 1 raised to power 109 divided by 6, because if I need the remainder, let's just consider the unit place, becomes, simply because even if I do 31 divided by 6, I'll get 1 as the remainder. So 1 divided by 6, again I'm going to have 1 only as the remainder. Now let's just put it again for p. So p finally comes out to be 1. Putting the values, this whole expression has now reduced to p. So 2 raised to power p divided by 9 is what I have to find. 2 raised to power p is 1 divided by 9. Remainder in this case is 2. My answer is simply 2. Or what I could have done was multiplied the power taken for the unit place and considered. So this is both the same. Answer remains 2 in both the cases. What will be the remainder then? Again the same question. 3 raised to power 87 plus 5 raised to power 87 divided by 26. What we are going to do? Let's take one at a time. So remainder of first, let's find 3 raised to power 87 divided by 26. I'm going to write it 3 raised to power 3 raised to power 29 divided by 26. So 87 I have split as 29 into 3 becomes 87. So this is 27 raised to power 29 divided by 26. 27 I'm again writing as 26 minus 1 raised to power 29 divided by 26. Okay. Remainder would be just with respect to 1 raised to power 29 by 26. It is going to be 1 only. So remainder for the first case comes out to be just 1. Similarly, let's consider for the second case. Remainder of 5 raised to power 87 divided by 26. Let's make it as remainder of 5 raised to power 2 raised to power 43, and into one more 5 I'm taking out common. So this, all this power, this becomes 86 plus 1 87. The power is justified, divided by 26. So here when we do it this way, this becomes, again this is 26 minus 1. 25 I can write as 26 minus 1 raised to power 43 into 5 divided by 26. Again, it will be minus 1. From here, remainder obtained is minus 1, and minus 1 into 5, my remainder becomes minus 5. So, remainder for the second case is minus 5. I know I cannot have my remainder as minus 5. So, what am I going to do is, here I have minus 5, here I have 1. So, my remainder basically for the two cases are 1 and minus 5. Overall, it becomes 1 minus 5 divided by 26. So, remainder of minus 4 divided by 26. Remainder is going to be minus 4, but negative remainder is never considered. What am I going to do? I'm going to do 26 minus 4, so that I get a positive remainder, becomes option A. My answer is A. Next, in medieval times, the Sheikhdom of Al Khurazi had a proud tradition of inventing their own measurement units. The units for distance was du and unit for time was pu. Unfortunately, exactly when these measurement units are in modern technology had been lost, the Sheikh of Al Khurazi had built a huge mansion in the desert with a circular wall around it. The wall had four gates pointing north, south, east, and west. Okay. He had built three observation towers, one 144 du to the north of the north gate, and other dimension 135 du to the east of the south gate, and one 7.5 du to the north of the east gate. Okay, some things have been measured. Now, next thing. They have been aligned to be all in a straight line passing through the oasis. What was the diameter of the wall that surrounded the city? And we have to find the diameter. Simple question it is given, but first we'll have to draw the diagram. So it's given circular, center. Now, east, west, north, and south. This is the center. Okay. Some, as per the question that is given and as per the information that is given, the diagram that comes out is, this is 144 to the north. Let this be A. Now, next, 135 to the south. Let this be C. And 7.5 to the east. Let this be point B. Okay, all the three gates are represented as A, B, and C. Now, A is 144 du away from N, B is 7.5 du away from E, and C is 135 du away from S. And all are in a straight line. Now, what I need to have is, what is the diameter of the wall that surrounded the city? Okay, very simple. Now, triangle AOB and triangle ASC are similar triangles. So, AO, these two are my similar triangles. I can prove similarity. AO upon OE is equals to AS upon SC. This is property of similar triangles, that if two triangles are similar, their sides are in ratio. Let's take the radius as r. So AO upon OE becomes 144 plus r divided by OE is r plus 7.5 is equals to AS. What is AS? AS is r plus 144 becomes 2r plus 144 divided by SC. SC is 135. Now all of this reduces to one equation and one variable. When solving this, r comes out to be 90. So diameter becomes 90 plus 90, that is 180 du. Answer is 180 du. The only thing was to draw the diagram and to get the answer. Next, there is a set of 27 distinct points on a plane with the following characteristics. Subset of A containing 15 collinear. Okay, collinear means in a line. Any subset of 3 or more collinear points from 27 are a subset of A. How many distinct triangles with positive areas can be formed with each of its vertices being one of the 27 points? Two triangles are said to be distinct if at least one of them is different. Okay, now 27 points is given to me. There are 15 collinear points. That means out of those 27, 12 will be non-collinear. A triangle will be formed when at least one of the points that is given to them is a non-collinear point. three collinear points cannot form a triangle. At least one point has to be a non-collinear, only then the triangle is going to be formed. So total number of cases, total triangle that are going to be formed. First case can be I picked up two collinear points, two from 15 points, and one from the non-collinear point. This will give me subtriangles. Second case can be one from the 15 collinear points and two from the non-collinear points. This would also give me subtriangles. Third case can be all the three are from this non-collinear points that are mentioned to me. I'll have to find the total of all of these three cases, then only I'll have the possible number of triangles, and none of the triangles are going to be overlapping. So first case, 1 from 15 and 2 from non-collinear. So this becomes 15C1, selecting 1 point out of 15, and 12C2. This is my second case. Plus, now I have to select 2 from 15, 15C2, 1 from 12, 12C1. This is my first case. All the 15 are non, all the points are from non-collinear. This becomes 12C3. When I will add all of them, my answer becomes 990 plus 1260 plus 220. Total number of triangles possible becomes 2470. My answer is option B. Okay. Next question. The value of a scooter depreciates in such a way that its value at the end of the year is three-fourths of its value at the beginning of the same year. If the value of the scooter is given, what is the value in rupees at the end of the fourth year? So value at the beginning of first year is 39936. Value at the end of first year, it becomes three-fourths of the value of the beginning. So three-fourths of 39936 it will become, comes out to be 29952. Now whatever is the value at the end of first year, that is going to be the value at the beginning of second year also. So beginning of second year value is 29952. End of second year, the value is going to be 29952 into 3 by 4. When we do this, value comes out to be 22464. This is going to be the value at the beginning of third year also. At the end of third year, value becomes 22464, and three-fourths of this, when we solve this, comes out to be 16848. Value at the end of fourth year, this is going to be the value at the beginning of the fourth year also. Value at the end of fourth year becomes three-fourths of this, that is 12636. Match the option. My answer is option D. Next, a bag contains 110 tickets numbered as from 1 to 110. If a ticket is drawn out of it at random, what is the probability that the ticket drawn has a digit 2 appearing on it? Okay, so from 1 to 99, we're going to divide the cases now. So we're going to go from 1 to 99. Number of times 2 comes, a number of times 2 appears, it is 20. It's like 2, 12, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, going up to 29, then 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, and 92. So it is containing, this is all 19 numbers, but there is 22. 22 has two twos, so 2 comes 20 times. Now, there's a number of tickets with 2. There are 19 terms and there are 22s, because 22 has 2 in it. Okay, now there's a number of tickets with 2 between 1 and 99. It becomes 19. Now from 110, from 100 to 110, 2 comes only one time. That is, it is there in only one ticket. So it's just in 102 that we are talking about. Okay. Probability of getting a ticket with 2 on it. Number of tickets that we have, 19 here, 1 here, 20. Out of how many? Out of 110. So probability becomes 20 upon 110. Option B. is my answer. Just had to consider the cases and getting the answer.